In the opulent shadows of a sprawling mansion perched on the cliffs of Malibu, where the ocean whispered secrets to the wind, a billionaire named Alexander Voss stood at the edge of his infinity pool, staring into the abyss of his own despair. His daughter, little Emilia, hadn't uttered a single word in 2 years, not since the tragic car accident that stole her mother away in a flash of twisted metal and shattered dreams. The world saw Alexander as a titan of industry, a man who built empires from silicon and steel, but in the quiet hours, he was just a father broken by silence. Desperate for a miracle, he devised a test. 4 women, each vying for $5 million, would spend time with Emilia. Only one would unlock her voice. But what if the key wasn't in wealth or beauty, but in something far more intimate and raw? Stick around to the end of this heart-wrenching tale, and you'll see how love can heal the deepest wounds. And hey, if this story moves you, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that touch the soul and ignite the heart. Alexander Voss was no stranger to power plays. At 45, with chiseled features framed by salt and pepper hair and eyes like stormy seas, he commanded boardrooms with a glance that could melt steel. His net worth hovered in the billions, thanks to Voss Tech, a conglomerate that revolutionized AI and cybersecurity. But money couldn't buy back his wife's life, nor could it coax words from Emilia's lips. The 8-year-old girl, with her mother's golden curls and wide, haunted blue eyes, wandered the mansion like a ghost, communicating only through drawings and nods. Therapists had come and gone, their degrees as useless as the empty echoes in the halls. Alexander's grief had turned to obsession. He needed someone to break through, someone who could make Emilia speak again. And so, the test was born, a controversial gamble whispered about in elite circles. 4 women, a glamorous socialite, a seductive model, a sharp business executive, and unexpectedly, his own maid. Each would have a week alone with Emilia, under Alexander's watchful eye via hidden cameras. The prize? $5 million, tax-free, wired instantly. But the real stakes were higher: Alexander's hope for his daughter's future, and perhaps, a spark of something more personal in his own lonely heart. First came Victoria Langford, the socialite. At 32, she was a vision of old money elegance, with porcelain skin, raven hair cascading in waves, and a body sculpted by Pilates and privilege. Her dresses hugged her curves like lovers' whispers, low-cut necklines revealing just enough to tantalize. Victoria arrived in a chauffeured Bentley, her heels clicking on the marble floors like gunfire. "Mr. Voss," she purred, her voice a sultry melody as she extended a manicured hand, her fingers brushing his with deliberate slowness. "I'm here to win more than just the money." Alexander felt a flicker of heat in her gaze, but he nodded curtly, leading her to Emilia's playroom. Victoria's approach was calculated glamour: tea parties with diamond-encrusted dolls, stories of Parisian fashion shows, promises of a life filled with sparkle. She leaned close to Emilia, her perfume a cloud of jasmine and desire, whispering encouragements while her silk blouse slipped slightly, revealing lace beneath. But Emilia remained mute, her small hands clutching a crayon, drawing stormy skies. Victoria tried seduction on Alexander too, late one night in the library, her body pressing against his as she murmured, "Perhaps I can help you forget your pain." Her lips grazed his ear, her hands wandering to his chest, unbuttoning his shirt with expert fingers. Alexander's breath hitched, his body responding to the warmth of her curves against him, but he pulled away. "This is about my daughter," he growled, though the ache of loneliness lingered. By week's end, Victoria left empty-handed, her allure no match for Emilia's walls. Next was Isabella Reyes, the model. 28 and breathtaking, with sun-kissed olive skin, full lips painted crimson, and legs that seemed endless in her thigh-high boots. She graced magazine covers worldwide, her poses exuding raw sensuality, arching backs, parted lips, eyes that promised forbidden pleasures. Isabella sauntered into the mansion like she owned it, her tight dress clinging to every swell and dip of her hourglass figure. "Alexander," she said, her accent a smoky Spanish lilt, as she trailed a finger down his arm, sending shivers through him. "Let me show you, and her, what passion can do." In the playroom, Isabella danced with Emilia, her hips swaying hypnotically, the fabric of her outfit stretching taut over her breasts and thighs. She told tales of exotic photo shoots on beaches where waves crashed like lovers' sighs, encouraging Emilia to move with her, their bodies brushing in innocent play that felt charged with Isabella's innate eroticism. One evening, as Alexander watched on the monitors, Isabella caught him in the hallway, her body pinning him against the wall. "Watch me work," she whispered, her mouth inches from his, her hands sliding under his shirt to trace the hard lines of his abs. The kiss she stole was fire, deep, hungry, her tongue exploring with expertise, her curves grinding against him until he groaned. But duty called him back. This was for Emilia. Yet the girl stayed silent, her eyes wide but her voice locked away. Isabella's week ended in frustration, her seductive spells failing to conjure words. Then arrived Sophia Grant, the business executive. 35, with sharp intellect and a no-nonsense allure, her power suits tailored to accentuate her athletic build, firm breasts, toned legs, a waist cinched by ambition. Her blonde bob framed a face of determination, green eyes piercing like lasers. Sophia shook Alexander's hand firmly, but her touch lingered, a subtle promise. "Efficiency is key, Mr. Voss. I'll crack this code." Her methods were structured, educational games, psychology books read aloud, incentives like trips to theme parks. But beneath the professionalism simmered sensuality. During breaks, she'd unbutton her blouse slightly, revealing the swell of cleavage, or cross her legs in a way that hiked her skirt, exposing smooth thighs. Alexander found himself drawn to her confidence, and one afternoon in his office, as they reviewed footage, Sophia closed the door. "You need release, Alexander," she said, her voice low and commanding. She pushed him into his chair, straddling him, her skirt riding up as she rocked against him, her lips claiming his in a fierce kiss. Her hands roamed, unbuckling his belt, teasing him with skilled strokes that made him gasp. The encounter was intense, clothes half discarded, bodies entwined on the desk, her moans echoing as he thrust into her, the desk shaking with their rhythm. But even as pleasure coursed through him, guilt followed. Sophia's week yielded no breakthrough. Emilia's silence persisted, unmoved by logic or lust. Finally, there was Elena Miraculous, the maid. At 29, she was unassuming yet captivating in her quiet way, curly dark hair tied back, warm brown eyes that held depths of empathy, and a body honed by hard work, full hips swaying gently as she moved, breasts straining against her simple uniform, a natural sensuality in her every step. Elena had worked for the Voss family for 3 years, cleaning the mansion's vast rooms, cooking meals with love infused in every spice. She wasn't part of the original test. Alexander had invited the others from high society, but when Elena overheard the plan, she shyly approached him. "Senor Voss, let me try. No money needed, I care for Emilia." Touched by her sincerity, he included her, though skepticism lingered. Elena's week began differently, no glamour, no games. She simply sat with Emilia in the garden, humming old lullabies from her Mexican hometown, her voice soft and melodic. She baked cookies together, her hands guiding Emilia's, flour dusting their skin like gentle snow. Elena's presence was comforting, her curves soft and inviting as she hugged the girl close, her warmth seeping through. As days passed, Alexander watched Elena with growing fascination. Unlike the others, she didn't seduce overtly, but her essence was intoxicating, the way her uniform hugged her ample figure, the subtle scent of vanilla on her skin. One night, after Emilia was asleep, Elena found Alexander in the kitchen, nursing a whiskey. "You look tired, senor," she said, her accent a gentle caress. She poured him tea instead, her fingers brushing his, sparking electricity. Conversation flowed, about loss, dreams, the weight of wealth. Elena's empathy drew him in. She shared her own story of losing her parents young, surviving through sheer will. As moonlight filtered through the windows, Alexander pulled her close, his lips finding hers in a tentative kiss that deepened into passion. Elena responded with fire, her body pressing against him, hands exploring the breadth of his shoulders. They moved to the counter, her uniform unbuttoned to reveal lace-trimmed bra cupping her full breasts. Alexander's mouth trailed down her neck, eliciting soft moans as he lifted her skirt, fingers tracing her thighs. Their lovemaking was tender yet urgent, him entering her slowly, her legs wrapping around him, bodies sinking in rhythmic bliss, her cries muffled against his shoulder as waves of ecstasy crashed over them. But it was more than physical. Elena's kindness pierced Alexander's armor. And it worked on Emilia too. On the final day, as Elena read a story about a lost bird finding its voice, Emilia whispered, "Mama?" The room froze. Tears streamed down Elena's face as Emilia spoke more, halting words about missing her mother, fears bottled up. Alexander rushed in, embracing them both, his heart swelling. The other women had tried force or flair, but Elena's genuine love, born of humility, unlocked the silence. In the weeks that followed, Emilia's voice grew stronger, laughter echoing through the halls. Alexander, transformed, pursued Elena not as a maid but as an equal, their romance blooming into marriage, a union of souls, passionate nights filled with whispered affections and heated embraces. The 5 million? Elena donated it to orphanages, proving true wealth lay in the heart. And there you have it, folks, a story of how love, not money, heals. If this tale of redemption and passion tugged at your heartstrings, smash that like button, subscribe for more inspiring stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss out. What do you think? Could love like Elena's change your life? Drop a comment below.